Howdy folks, it's a Tall Turtle here and welcome back to another texture pack update video. I want to keep this as short as possible, so please check the description for a link to the playlist of the previous texture pack updates, and let's get started. Alright, also my voice might be a little bit raspy because I'm making this video before work, super early, like 5:30 on a Friday morning, I think this is, or something like that. But anyway, I wanted to share this with you as soon as I could, so apologize for the raspy voice. So the first thing we're going to talk about are dyes, because in 1.14, every color needs to be a dye. For example, previously, brown was handled by cocoa beans, blue was handled by lapis, and white was handled by bone meal, for example. But now every color needs a dye, so I finished all the dyes. Both items and, well, I guess it's just an item, really, because you place it. So I've got black dye, which is new, and we got blue dye. And yes, these are much bigger than my previous set of dyes. I made them a little bit bigger, but that's okay. I may go back and change it. But for right now, they're just going to stay the same, as you see in my hand. There's brown, which doesn't come off as brown in the game, but it's very brown in my editor, I promise. Green, which compared to the other greens, that's very green. Red, which kind of looks not as red as does my editor, but compared to the other ones is very red if we're next to other ones. White and yellow. So those are the new ones I've done for 1.14. If you couple those with the previous ones I've done, we now have all 16 colors represented by dye in my own custom textures. And it is as simple as that. That's the easy one. Let's move on to some more interesting textures. So in my hand right now is my turtle helmet item. We've always had a turtle helmet on my head. That's never been an issue. If we could come out here, see the turtle helmet on my head. That I've had for a long time. But I've forgotten to do the item. So we have the default item in my hand or on the wall in our Survivor Craft world where I put an item frame like that. But it was default. But now it is a turtle helmet of my own texture that looks like the turtle helmet on my head. So again, very simple, but I wanted to show you because that was a big oversight on my behalf from previously in 1.13. But now in 1.14, we have the turtle helmet item. So the next thing I want to talk about was doors, because if you recall, Redcraft had already done the oak, jungle, spruce, and iron doors. But that left the other doors to be done, right? So I had been using a temporary texture just for continuity, but I've since got rid of those. We now have our own permanent textures in my 1.14 pack for the remaining doors. So I'm not even going to show you the Redcraft ones because, remember, my texture pack is completely 100% separate from Redcraft. So I'm not even going to show those textures in this video. We're going to just do the new ones I've done. So there's the acacia door with the matching trapdoor, and we'll look at these in detail in a second. We have the birch door with matching trapdoor, and the dark oak door, which I showed you previously, matching trapdoor, and then we have a jungle trapdoor, and we have a spruce trapdoor. So eventually, I am going to go back and do my own oak door and trapdoor, and my own spruce door to match the trapdoor, and my own iron door and trapdoor. But due to all the hundreds of other blocks I need to do, and since those other doors have already been done by Redcraft, we're just going to use Redcraft ones underneath mine, just like we're using the grass and dirt under mine. Separate, but they're layered. And we're just going to do these for right now. So I'm quite proud of these, to be honest. And another secret reason I haven't gone ahead and done the oak and jungle and spruce yet is those are going to be the hardest doors to do. And I don't know I'm going to do them yet. So that's why that's going to be later on in the pipeline. But let's talk about what I've done here. So we got the acacia, which is real wood and is beveled. In this case, it's just beveled in the same direction like guitars would be. You don't have a strip going in a different direction like the oak would, which would make the oak more difficult. But we have beveled edges, and we have shiny silver hardware, or not brushed nickel, but like shiny nickel hardware. And it's two parts, but they blend perfectly together. I'm quite proud of that. And then we have a matching trapdoor. Very simple. I love my birch door. Oh my gosh. I know it looks like oak, kind of. But it's birch. I have a different subject picked out for oak when I get to it. I love my birch door. I took the pattern that's in the default textures, and I just made it more realized. Again, I'm trying to stay as close as I can to the default look. I'm not trying to be completely different. That way you can run my texture pack on top of any other texture pack, and that would still work out. So birch door, we have the brushed nickel hardware and the oak door, and then I made it transparent. I tried doing a light, like a frosted glass thing, which worked in 1.13, but in 1.14 I cannot get Minecraft to accept my semi-transparent textures anymore. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Like I said, it worked in 1.13. I had a semi-transparent door, but I got to figure out why 1.14 won't accept it. So I may update this with semi-transparent frosted glass, but if not, it's just going to be the like yellowed plastic hardware or plastic molding inside the glass, kind of like my real life doors. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful huge bay windows in my house with this stupid plastic gridding in between panes, and you can't. Oh, it's horrible. I should show you a picture of that. It's just awful. Oh, I'm so frustrated. But anyway, sorry. Wow, where did that come from? So that's my birch door. Very proud of it. And my matching trapdoor. And all these textures, I'll tell somebody in the Discord that when I go all out on these textures, I'm going all out. I'm not going to do this halfway. My dark oak, which we talked about in my previous texture pack update video. I'm loving this more and more. Every time I look at it, I just love it more and more. It's very rustic. Again, it has the like textured nickel hardware on there. And matching trapdoor, of course. And these will be made into planks somehow too, using my own textures. We'll get an acacia plank out of that. Don't know how the birch is going to work yet. This will be easy to make into planks. This one, my jungle, so there's no door because right now the red craft is sitting under this. My jungle door, which I'm super proud of that too. I know I'm saying I'm proud, but that's because I've never ever done this before. I have no graphics arts experience. And even though I'm using photos for this stuff, putting it all together and making it all like continuity from block to block and everything is taking a lot of brain power, and I love it so much. So the fact that I have no idea what I'm doing, I'm just faking it right now. And when it works out, I'm happy with myself. Anyway, I love this door, this jungle trap door. And the spruce, which again is modeled after the default, so I cannot wait to make this into a door. In fact, you know what? I know I said I wasn't going to do the other doors till the end. I might just make a spruce door today. Why not? It's halfway done. All I do is take this and make it into a door. See, it's the same width. You just make it into a door. Just gotta be careful about continuity. I think I'm gonna do that. I don't know. Look for that in the next texture pack update video. Because like I said, even though I run my texture pack completely separately from Redcraft, it just sits on top of Redcraft, I want to have my own 100% texture pack. So all these base or basic blocks you see here, even though they're Redcraft, they will be mine someday. I will make my own in the near future. So why not go ahead and make a spruce door today? I think I'll do that. I think I will. That looks way better in game than I thought it would. I can make a jungle. You know what? Maybe I'll just make my doors and be done with it. Oh man, I don't know. It's a lot to think about. I have a list of literally 175 blocks to make yet between items and blocks. I just need to prioritize. But anyway, what is next on our list? Oh yeah, now we get into the really cool stuff. Okay, so now we get into the brand new blocks for 1.14. So looking at my list, what is next? First, we're going to put the barrel down. And I am so excited to show this to you. Whoops. There. So there's our barrel. And actually, I was going to do something. Whoops, that's not going to work. We got to go like this a second so we can get under it. There we go. So, because I want to show you the bottom. So here is the barrel. I am super excited about this one because I wasn't sure I was going to do this. Someone was joking with me that is not round. I wish I could deceive it, like make it round and then have transparency maybe. I don't know how to do that because I can't get inside for textures. But anyway, I wanted to stay as close as I could to the default texture, and I think I did a pretty decent job while keeping it photo real. So we just have wooden planks and then metal banding or metal strapping, which is exactly what a barrel would look like in real life, I think. I want to point out a few details though. Continuity. Up here, if you look at the slats or the gaps between slabs or slats or whatever, it goes around to the top right because that'd just be one piece of wood. you know, like a 2x6 or something, 2x8. So you'd have one piece of wood so the gap goes over the edge like that. And then because of corners, it's actually beveled. You can't really tell when I look this closely, but it's like beveled in there. Can you see that? How they fit together? It's not beveled. I can't remember the joint. The term for that simple basic joint. Anyway, it's joined or jointed here. It's one of those things where you can't really tell, but if I didn't do it that way, you would tell. So the fact you can't notice means I did a good job, I think. And then plywood for the top, and planks for the bottom. So I just took the planks and broke them up a little bit. And it's kind of aged a little bit. All four sides are the same, which is why I'm only showing you one side. But so we have the sides, top and bottom, and then there's the inside texture. If I kind of go way off to the side so you can kind of see it. There you go. You can kind of see the inside texture here. Just a big void with some texture. And there you go, and a little handle. So there is the barrel. I'm so excited to use that in game. So what is next, moving along, is going to be the composter. Let's put that right here. And again, let's do something different. Let's do this first. How high up was it? Was it like that? Nope, it was like, hang on, I can do this, I promise. I practiced this. Hang on. We'll put a barrel like that so you can see underneath it. And we also need to get some seeds so that I can show you the inside. So first of all, let's look at the plain barrel texture. Again, it's a round, not again, but it's a rounded, they're like rounded logs, because that's how I imagined it in the default textures, like rounded logs. We got the rounded look to it, and it's the same on all four sides again. But so it's rounded with just kind of joined between logs. So it definitely looks like logs. I think so very much. And then again, there's a joint here that up close doesn't look like much, but far away it's definitely there, and it definitely works. Had I not done that, you wouldn't have noticed, right? Or you would have noticed something wrong, but since I did it correctly, it just looks like it should be. So we have the round idea for the bear, or for the composter. I did call this a composter, right? Plywood bottom, inside and outside. See, is that awesome? But now check this out. As you fill it up, oh, I gotta do my green particle. We're gonna talk about particles in a minute, because particles is a whole separate monster, and when I say monster, it's tough. So we're gonna talk about particles in a moment. But anyway, as it fills up, it looks like a bunch of gooey, nasty compost, right? And then I'll show you what happens when it gets full before it pops, which should be any second now. I'm going slowly because it takes a second. There you go. There you go. It's ready to pop. And then when it pops, boom, we get the bone meal texture, which I had done previously in 1.13. So this, I know, still needs the green particles to be done, but particles are a separate thing. So even though you're looking at default particles, when I do this, it has nothing to do with the composter. It's a separate thing. So there is our composter. Very excited about that one. So now we get into the super, super cool stuff. So let's do the campfire. And oh my goodness, do we have a lot to talk about. This is like 4 days of work right here. So let's start up and work our way down. So the embers, the black embers, again, is default because it's a particle thing. Although I'm thinking I'm going to keep the default black textures here, you see, like the little ashes and stuff. Just because it gives it an aggressive look. So I think I'm actually going to leave that. Because I did try making a similar texture, roundish and more high definition, and it actually looked really bad. So I think I'm going to keep those black things the same, because it just looks awesome. And then if you look at the smoke, now I know the smoke, the colors look kind of cartoonish, and that's just how the game is interpreting it, but it's still transparent. See, you can still see like that hill through them, so it's still transparent smoke. I just kind of changed the colors a little bit, and they are high definition or high res. So if you look and you watch one or you pause the video, you can see like the gray, especially all the different colors of gray in there, and the brown. So they are high res, even though the colors are kind of bold, but it works. It works just fine with the default embers. So that's the smoke and the embers. Now look at these red chunks. That's a custom texture. Look at that. Those are custom embers floating out of there. And that took a long time too. That's the lava particle, which means lava will do the same thing now. It uses the same one. There's another one. I like when the really big ones fly at you. There you go. See? Is that awesome? I love it. The flames, animated. I think it's 6 textures animated together, and I put them in the right order so it actually looked cohesive and not like all over the place. So I spent a lot of time on those flames. That was a couple days just getting the flames exactly how I wanted them. And they glow all the way down to the bottom. Looking at the coals, look at the coals, they move. See? Every couple seconds. See how they move? Isn't that awesome? And that's all the way around. The coals move, and it's different on each side. So these coals are different than these coals. Isn't that cool? Now the reason why we have the charcoal on the bottom is because that comes from a different texture. So if I made that a coal texture, it would screw up the next thing I'm going to show you. So that has to stay that way. So it's just kind of, think of it as kind of cooling off on the edges, I guess. And then last but not least, the wood logs, which are several textures actually that I had to combine. So continuity was very difficult there because you could see a solid line, or right, like 3/4 down, there's this solid line where it was different. So continuity, again, all these little details that you don't notice because I got them right. If I didn't do the details, you would notice something was wrong. So continuity is a huge thing with me. So getting those logs is not as simple as making a log. It was not that simple at all. I had to be very particular about where they met up and everything. So there's a campfire. I don't know if I'm going to use that much in game, but that was a lot of work and worth every moment. So now I'm going to try to do this again, but I want to, oh, there we go, kept that one, okay, good. And I wanted to show you the burnt out log, the burnt out fire, because check that out. Look at that, completely different. The logs are darker. We have the coal or the charcoal now all the way around, which actually is different than my charcoal texture. I just realized maybe I should turn this into my charcoal texture. There's a innovative idea. Continuity, right? I talk about continuity all the time. I'm going to reuse my own texture for another texture I made in 1.13. Anyway, let's see. That is a conversation for another time. So look at that. The burnt out campfire. Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of this stuff. I know I keep saying I'm proud, but I am. I should be. This is a lot of work. This is so much work, and I'm enjoying every second of it, and I'm learning so much along the way. Look at that. I just want to stare at that stuff. Oh man. Anyway, we do need to keep going. I've got one more block to talk to you about, but first I briefly want to talk about particles. Because the way particles work is it used to be one big gigantic PNG file with all the particles in one. And that's what Redcraft used. And that was true up until 1.13. In 1.14, every single particle gets its own file. So the smoke, for example, that's 11 different files. So one option I had was I could have taken the Redcraft PNG and converted it like it did all the other things into separate files and kept it in the Redcraft folder. Because remember the previous video, I converted Redcraft for 1.14 with permission. I could have taken that a step further and converted the particles for 1.14 and kept them in the Redcraft folder. But since that is an amazing amount of work, like we're talking like a day or two of work, I decided I'm just going to redo the particles for my own texture pack, since I plan on doing every single block for my own texture pack at some point anyway. So why put a day of work into converting that existing file when I can just do my own files in the same amount of time, you know, for more or less. So that's what we're doing. So all particles in 1.14 in my texture pack are going to be my own. And I've started with a smoke. And we've done a few other particles that'll we'll see here and there, like the lava particle and things like that. But I need to do a lot more particles, like the green particle you saw, you know, from the Composter, for example, or the water when you go fishing, things like that. All of that I have to do, but that's going to be a separate thing. That's after the blocks. So those are the particles I want to talk about, which, you know, they're incorporated into things. So it's not like we're going to be like, here is all my particles and I'm going to show you. It's just going to be, you know, this is 11 particles right here, you know, type thing. So the last block to show you is my smoker. And again, I cannot believe I am just completely, I just can't believe how well this turned out. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. I remember when 114 had the smoker added in the snapshots. I'm like, how am I going to do a smoker texture? Well, there it is. It is wood with some banding and a cement, encased in cement, right? Because the smoker encased in wood would work, but it would catch fire eventually. So this is encased in cement all around. Oh, I should also show you the bottom probably too, huh? Let's see. Can I do this, this, and this? There we go. There we go. So the bottom is very simple because remember, it's basically a cement block with wood to hold it together, right? And again, if you look at the default texture for this thing in Minecraft, this is pretty much what it is. I just, realized it in a lot more detail. So there's a bottom cement block, the top, sides, the three sides all look the same, but the front is different. A grate, I tried to make a circle on the top like the default, but it just didn't work. So I put a grate down there, you can see inside a little bit. And my favorite part is if you look inside the front, look at that. It looks like you're looking inside. No matter how you try to trick yourself, it looks like you're looking inside the smoker through the chain or grate front. Isn't that crazy? I don't know. That just worked out so well. I'm so excited about that part. And then, of course, you have the door that comes open. So what happens when it is open and you are cooking some things? Well, it looks like this. Look at that. So again, these textures I'm not going to change because I like how aggressive they are. They're the same ones as the fire. And then look at the inside lit up. So here you can see inside, right? And see how it's all ashes. You look inside this one and it's all hot. And then here your door's closed and the vents are closed. Here the door's open and the vents are open. Now check this out. Because this is metal, when the door's open, you got the charcoal and the flames inside, but you also have the flames shooting out the front, see? And that's on purpose. So if you're wondering why the flames are in front of the smoker, that's totally on purpose. And again, I have it animated a certain way so it's, cohesive. And then your coals change at the bottom too. Isn't that something? Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of that. It took forever. And I went pixel by pixel in a lot of places to make sure it looked like that. So there you go. That, my friends, is my texture pack update number 2 for my 114 textures. A lot more to go. We have a lot more to go. Let me get those seeds up in my hand because those are my seeds. And everybody smile for a screenshot. There we go. So what do we have left? I'm not even going to go through my list. It's enormous. But there will be many more texture pack update videos as I get some more things done. I just have to decide and prioritize what to do next because there are so many to do. I kind of have a priority list, but it's whatever I feel like doing. So I will get back to that, and I'll get you another update video as soon as I have more updates. But until then, take care, and I'll see you next time.